The Underestimation Protocol isn't about deception, it's about information control. While everyone else is fighting to be the loudest voice, you will be the one who is actually listening. You will see the moves before they are made. You will build leverage in silence. True power isn't loud, it's effective. That's the protocol. Now execute. Subscribe to Capital Sanctum for more systems that give you the edge.
The Underestimation Protocol. Get rich by playing dumb. Stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. It's costing you a fortune. From a young age, you're conditioned to signal intelligence, to raise your hand first, to have the right answer, to look smart. This is a strategic error. When you broadcast your intelligence, you paint a target on your back. People become guarded. They filter information. They see you as a threat. Your access to ground truth reality is severed. The real advantage isn't in being the smartest, it's in being the most underestimated. This allows you to bypass cognitive defenses. It encourages others to reveal their plans, their weaknesses, and their true intentions. They will literally hand you the blueprint to their downfall or the keys to a hidden opportunity, simply because they don't register you as a competitor. This is not a passive strategy. It's an active, tactical framework I call the Underestimation Protocol. Today, I'm giving you the system. We'll break down the psychological drivers that make it work, the defensive applications for reducing your threat profile, and the tactical execution that you can deploy in your next meeting, negotiation, or investment analysis.
The information advantage. The human ego is a system vulnerability. It's a piece of code running in the background of every person you interact with, and it has a critical exploit, the deep-seated need to feel superior. This system is about leveraging that exploit to gain an information advantage. When you interact with someone and they perceive you as an intellectual equal or a rival, their defenses are high. They filter every word. They are calculating, guarded. They are trying to win. You are getting their processed public relations statement, not the raw data. But when they perceive you as less knowledgeable, a switch flips in their brain. Their primary objective shifts from competing to educating. Their ego kicks in. It wants the satisfaction of being the expert, the teacher. And in their rush to demonstrate their superiority, they drop their filters. They over-explain. They use analogies that reveal their underlying assumptions. They'll tell you why they made a decision, not just what the decision was. They leak the metadata of their strategy. Think about a negotiation. The standard approach is to posture, to signal that you know their business inside and out. This creates an adversarial dynamic. Now try the protocol. You lean forward and say, "Look, I'm not going to pretend I understand the complexities of your logistics like you do. Can you just walk me through how you arrived at that price? I want to make sure I'm explaining it correctly to my partners." The dynamic instantly changes. You've validated their expertise. You've flattered their ego. In their desire to educate you, the clueless buyer, they will start justifying the cost. They will break it down. And somewhere in that breakdown, they will reveal the fat. They'll expose the flexible components, the areas where they have the most margin, the parts of the deal they're least confident in. They're so busy trying to look smart, they hand you the entire negotiation roadmap. You become an information black hole. You reflect back simplicity and a willingness to learn, and in return, you absorb unfiltered, high-value intelligence. You let their ego do your reconnaissance.
The Threat Reduction Protocol. High performance attracts attacks. This is a fundamental law of any competitive system. The moment you are perceived as a primary threat, you become a target. Your competitors will allocate resources, time, money, and attention specifically to neutralize you. The Threat Reduction Protocol is a system for avoiding this entirely. It's about letting others fight for the spotlight while you build your empire in the shadows. Think of any competitive environment like an energy system. Everyone has a finite amount of focus and capital. Most people instinctually direct their competitive energy toward the most visible, highest status player. They want to beat the best. They posture, they attack, they get drawn into public fights for dominance. This is a massive expenditure of resources. Your strategy is to be removed from their threat matrix. You operate below the radar. While the top two players in your industry are in a price war, burning cash on attack ads, you are focused on optimizing your operations and capturing a niche market they're ignoring. While the two loudest managers in your department are fighting over who gets credit for a project, you are quietly building alliances with other teams and delivering reliable results. You are not a threat, so they do not waste energy on you. This isn't about hiding or being lazy, it is an active strategy of signal management. You intentionally downplay your ambitions. You let others take the credit for small wins. You avoid broadcasting your capabilities. The goal is to create a gap between perception and reality. Let them perceive you as a B-plus player, while your actual operational capacity is A-plus. The result is that you are left alone. You have the freedom to operate, to build, to acquire assets, and to strengthen your position without resistance. The primary competitors will exhaust themselves. They will make mistakes under pressure. They will burn bridges. Eventually, their conflict creates a power vacuum. And because you have preserved your resources, built a solid foundation, and made no enemies, you are the one best positioned to fill it. You don't win by fighting harder, you win by making yourself a non-target. You become the gray man who owns the entire building while everyone else was fighting over the corner office.
Execution. Tactical application. Let's move from theory to execution. This is not about changing your personality, it's about deploying a tool with surgical precision to achieve a specific outcome. Here is your tactical playbook. First, in negotiations, your weapon is the dumb question. Stop trying to counter-argue with complex points. Instead, disarm. Use phrases like, "I'm sorry, I'm not following. Can you walk me through the logic on that point again?" Or, "Help me understand the numbers here. Can you break it down for me in a simpler way?" This does two things. It forces them to deconstruct their own argument, often exposing its weakest points for you to see. And second, it subtly shifts the power dynamic. By making them the teacher, you lower their defenses and they're more likely to concede points to the student who is just trying to understand. Next, in management and leadership. If you want to find inefficiencies in your own system, don't walk in with a clipboard and announce an audit. That puts everyone on the defensive and they will hide the truth. Instead, use the protocol. Go to your key operator and say, "I need to get a better handle on this process. Can you teach me how you do it, from start to finish?" By positioning them as the expert, you empower them. As they walk you through their workflow, they will often self-identify the bottlenecks. They'll say things like, "And this is the part that's always a pain," or "We do it this way, but it would be faster if." You get unfiltered, ground truth intelligence without creating resistance. Finally, in investing, the smart money congregates around hype. It chases complexity. The protocol dictates that you do the opposite. You look for assets that are chronically underestimated. These are often boring, simple businesses that the financial media ignores. They're not exciting, so they don't attract speculative capital. Your task is not to find the next revolutionary tech. It's to find solid, cash-producing assets that are undervalued precisely because they lack glamour. Let the geniuses fight over complicated derivatives. You can get rich buying the plumbing supply company they all ignore. This is about targeted application. You don't play dumb all the time. You deploy it when you need to gather information, expose a weakness, or operate without interference. It is a scalpel, not a hammer.
the fine line between strategic and actual incompetence. Let's be extremely clear on this point, because this is where the entire system can fail. The underestimation protocol is not a license to be bad at your job. There is a razor-thin line between being strategically underestimated and being genuinely incompetent. If you cross it, you don't gain leverage, you lose all credibility. The protocol fails catastrophically if you damage your reputation for core execution. This is about perception management, not performance degradation. The goal is to be underestimated on strategy, not on ability. Here's the tactical difference. Incompetence is failing to deliver. It's missing deadlines, producing sloppy work, and being unreliable. This gets you fired. Strategic underestimation is delivering exceptional results consistently, but remaining quiet about the complex methods you use to achieve them. Think of a programmer. The incompetent programmer writes buggy code and misses their sprint goals. They are a liability. The strategic operator writes clean, elegant, highly efficient code and always delivers ahead of schedule. But in meetings about the company's 5-year market strategy, they ask simple, almost naive questions. They don't posture with jargon or predict market trends. They might say, "Can you just walk me through the core assumption here? I want to make sure I get it." Their peers might mistake this for a lack of business acumen. They see a brilliant coder who just doesn't get the big picture. But what that operator is actually doing is stress testing the foundation of the strategy while appearing non-threatening. Your results are your shield. They prove you are a high performer. Your simple demeanor is your camouflage. It conceals your ambition and strategic depth. You must have both. Without the consistent, high-quality output, you're not playing dumb, you just are. The perception gap you create is your weapon. When your simple, humble persona is contrasted with your sharp, undeniable results, it confuses your competitors. They can't build an accurate mental model of you. And if they can't predict you, they can't compete with you.